You can view student progress in completing online assessments by also going back to the Analyze tab and then Test Available. Scroll down and find your assessment. Click on it. And then find your class period. For example, this class period right here has students who have been working through the test. You can see various colors to see the different statuses of students. Gray is not started. Black is inactive. That means that the student has started the test, but they have logged out and are not actively taking the test in the system. Yellow are for students that are currently logged in and actively taking this test. Those are in progress. Completed is in green, and those are students who have completed the test, but they may be waiting on one or more constructed response questions to be graded by the teacher. In other words, this test did not have all multiple choice and numerical response that could be automatically graded by the computers. The teacher has to go in and finish grading those couple of questions. And then also blue for graded. Those are students who have completely finished, submitted their test. If they had any constructed response, they have already been graded by the teacher. I can see exactly the student names that fall under each of these categories by clicking on Show Students and then scrolling down. In a previous class, we've talked about the Notes feature for students. You can click on finding a student's name and click on the Notes, and that will pop up a little pop-up that gives you the question number and exactly what note the student typed. These refresh automatically every minute, and in the top left corner you will see the last refreshed time. You can either wait for this to automatically refresh or refresh at the top left of your screen. And you will see new notes for students pop up. Depending on the student's testing status, you have different options for things that you can do to their test. If their test is graded or completed, you can hover over to the right and click Reopen. This would be a useful tool in case the student accidentally hit submit before they were finished, or they took the test too quickly and they need to review their answers, show more work, or in case you have the students reviewing their work, reviewing their assessments, doing a reteach, and then you want them to try the test again. If they are in the inactive, in progress, or not started state, you can hover over the arrow and you could click Force Submit. That would be good, especially for a student who is inactive and they completed the test, but they forgot to finish by clicking that final Submit to Score button. In order to finish grading these students who have the completed status, and also to view all students' answers that have been entered into the system, we can go back to Test Available. We can scroll down, find our test. Do not click on the blue link, that would take us to online test proctoring. Come over to the right and hover over Enter Answers and click. Choose your period. You could choose multiple periods or a single period, and click Load Students. Then you will get this brand new Enter Answers landing page specifically for the assessment that I have chosen. And there are a couple of things that are very helpful for you to do. For example, first of all, I know that my test has a constructed response question, and I know I have to score this question before any data will show up on my Analyze tab for any scores. I'll be able to see any scores. So I would want to go ahead and score this question so that I can see all data for the students. I can see that question 3 is my only constructed response question. There are a couple of tools to help you prepare to score all the students' answers on this one. You can click here and get a preview of what the question looked like. You can click this little star and see what was the scoring guide, so you remember what was the criteria. You can also take those away if you don't need to see them. Then I'm going to look at each student's name, and right below it, next to the 3, is their answer. He has not answered this question, so I'm not going to score his. He has not answered this question, I'm not going to score. She entered 0 as her answer, and that did not answer the question correctly, so I gave her a 0. This student chose bag, and so that met the 2 criteria points, and so she got it 2. You can scroll down, and if any students have written notes, you can click on it. Maybe you ask them to write down their thinking, and then since she chose the right answer and spelled it correctly, I'm going to give her the 2 points. Notice that the answers save automatically. To return to the Enter Answers landing page, I'm going to click Clear Filters. Another thing that is very helpful is going and finding all the students who have unscored responses. These could be students who did not take the online test or students that did not click Submit on the online test. So I'm going to click View Unscored Students, and it filters out all my students over here that have not submitted their answers. For example, Edward was in progress, and so you can see at least 1 answer on here. I could actually go in and enter his answers for him. I cannot type anything for the constructed response, but I can give him his answers in case maybe he submitted his answers a different way. You can type in their numerical response. You can see any notes. You can review what the question was. And if you say you got your answers from the student in a different way, maybe they did it through a Google form, you could enter their answers this way, or if they tested in front of you. And remember, when you're doing student by student, click Score Student. It'll ask you if you're sure, and click OK. That button disappears to let you know, and also he disappeared from our list because he is not an unscored student. Again, to return to the test landing page, click Clear Filters. Maybe you want to review only specific questions that have missing responses. So I can click there. I can toggle between all of my question types up at the top. And I can see, for example, this is question 1, and I can see each and every student's answer choice, whether it's there or not. I can toggle and only look at the unscored students for that question, so that I can only enter answers for question 1 for all of my students. That might be good if you have like a checklist in front of you for how they performed on specific tasks. Once you're completely finished entering all of the answers that you have, you don't have to, not everyone has to be finished, but once you're completely finished entering the answers for the moment, click Review and Score. This is like your final review and score. It'll give you a pop-up warning of any students who are unscored. You can review through and it'll tell you how many unanswered questions they have, and then you can click their name if you want them to go ahead and be scored. Like maybe she was pretty much finished, she wasn't going to answer that question anyway, I want to go ahead and score her. So I'm going to score, click OK. And it's okay that I still have some unscored students. If I click Clear Filters, it'll show me all students, and it will show me all of these students should have data on the Analyze tab because they do not have this little purple bell symbol out to the side that says that they are unscored students. So that's how you use the new Enter Answers landing page in Aware.